Of
A
those,
solid body
yeah.
electric guitar is just not a D45 Martin. All Rosewood Martin guitars were Brazilian rosewood until like 72, 74, when Brazil changed their rules and they wouldn't let anybody export logs anymore.
You had this conversation with George Gruen. I heard you say in an interview that I thought was such an interesting thing that he said, which
Yeah,
was you were talking about bursts.
yeah.
And I think this was in preparation for your Les Paul video. And
It
he
was
said that,
actually, I did a specific video about bursts and it was in,
yes.
and I had talked to him a couple of times before that, but he was really sweet to give me the time. Yep.
And he said to you that basically compared to an early Martin or compared to a Stradivarius violin, that
Right.
the craftsmanship on a burst is just there's nothing there. It's
Yeah.
basically nothing. Is that what he said? What did he tell you?
He,
What's his
he's
take on bursts?
his specific thing was that all the people that are my age are going to die, and then bursts won't be worth what they are now because they are just electric guitars. Let's not kid ourselves. They're not like, he said, it's not as if they're a pre-war D45. That's what he said, because there were 93 of those built. 93. That's it. You can name off the top of your head probably a dozen people who own those.
Yeah.
And you don't even know if all 93 survive. So as in George's opinion, because he is an acoustic guitar guy, he's like, no, those things, and they do still all work. That's the amazing thing, like a Strad, like a Stradivarius violin, that they all still work is incredible. I think that, and you hear people say that not all 59s are amazing and all this kind of stuff. But actually, I just had somebody from somebody who follows the channel, a guy from California, and I got a DM and he says, "Hey, what's your shipping address?" I'm like, "No, no, what are you doing?" And he's like, "Just give me your shipping address." And so I get the box. Oh, he sends me the UPS label,
I
18
saw this
pounds.
on your Instagram. This is the
Oh
most
yeah, just today, right?
this is
Yeah,
the most okay, I'll finish the story. This is the most ridiculous thing
yeah.
ever that this showed up at
So
your
so the
door.
box comes. It's not well packed. It's at all. It's not like wrapped in bubble and double boxed or anything. It's in like an inexpensive triangular box. This is a guy who's got a very busy life. And his handle is Gig with Vintage. He's an amazing guy, amazing guy. He gigs like a 52 Les Paul and an old Vibra Verb that he anyway. So yeah, so the UPS guy goes, he goes, this got ripped open and it's like, but it's got a hard case. It's an original 59 Junior that's got more mileage on it than anything I've ever seen in the original case. And the case has got all this mileage on it. It's just, and then you know what? You plug it in and it's got like the headstock brake was fixed with fiberglass. I'll put those pictures up tomorrow. It's just, and the thing is all the magic that you've ever heard. You dial the volume and the tone back halfway, and the old Central Lab pots and that Bumblebee, whatever magic is in there, and that old growth Honduran mahogany. Oh my God. I was playing James Taylor. Like you could treat the thing like an acoustic guitar. You could
Yeah.
go to a duo gig where someone's playing acoustic and you're playing that old Junior with the 1P90 and you'd be happy. And I emailed pictures to Ariel and Justin Ostrander and Adam Levy, and I just got stuff. Oh, and Jed Hughes. They were like, "Oh man, that is a thing of beauty." And they all said the same thing. You can do anything on those.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
yeah,
so going back to what Grun said though, was his point
yeah.
that it just about the quantity? Because does he feel the same way about like flying V's, Carinas, or is it just the craftsmanship of those instruments is so
I
much more
don't I don't think he
respectable?
wasn't saying that they weren't well made, because
Yeah.
certainly those guitars are all handmade guitars. I mean, the late 50s Kalamazoo factory was just that. If you look at the pictures, everybody's just a luthier, there. Um, but I don't think he was saying that. I think he was saying that it's just not at the same level at all.
Of
A
those.
solid body
Yeah.
electric guitar is just not a D45 Martin. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Which is
I mean, you got
interesting.
to remember all Rosewood Martin guitars were Brazilian rosewood until like 72, 74, when Brazil changed their rules and they wouldn't let anybody export logs anymore. And Martin had no interest in having someone else cut the wood. They were buying whole logs from Brazil and then cutting the wood locally.